very excited to introduce Wes Melcher, who is going to share with you what he has been building the last 12 months. And we're just ready to make this go viral.
Thanks, Wes.
Absolutely. Thanks, ladies, for having me on. I had to set a special alarm just for everybody here. It's 2:30 in the morning in Texas where I'm based, but obviously getting a chance to work with these incredible ladies has been pretty contagious. So I told them whenever, wherever. So I'm excited to be here. And I've spent time in Australia and New Zealand, and so it's exciting to get a chance to meet some new faces in one of my favorite places to travel to. I tell people all over the world where I go that Australia and New Zealand has some of the greatest people. But one of the things that's interesting is that I seem to run into people from Australia and New Zealand everywhere else I go in the world. And so I tell everybody that you're some of the most well-traveled, and I think it's probably because you have to go so far. It's kind of like me being from Texas. You can drive 15 hours in the car and still be in Texas. And so it's kind of that same thing with Australia. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Haley and Carrie, for obviously the introduction and sharing your friends and contacts with us at Bryte Lyfe. And I'll kind of get into it and share just a little bit about my story and how Bryte Lyfe came to be. So I like she said, I've been in the travel industry now for almost 30 years. I started selling travel actually when I was in college, or as you say, in uni. I've been doing it a really long time. But for me personally, it really became my sweet spot, my bread and butter back in 2005. And so I previously co-founded a company that was actually pretty big in Australia and New Zealand called World Ventures. I was the youngest of the founders there. During that time, I was able to travel to almost 80 countries. But most importantly, I was able to help over 3 million people cross things off their bucket list. And so when we started that company from scratch here in Texas, we started with just four of us and grew the company to over 3 million customers. We did over 4 billion in revenue. We also did not have any of our own technology. And so I think, obviously being part of travel and having a massive amount of success, I also built one of the largest teams in part of that company. And so I had over 365,000 people on my team. And we didn't open that company outside of the United States until about our fifth year in business. When I left in 2018, we were in 35 countries, but we were only still an English-based website. And so we didn't have a true global business, but we found something that was a global phenomenon, and that was that people love to travel. And I almost call it like the universal love language, because it doesn't matter where you're from or where you are, what language you speak, everybody wants to travel and see different parts of the world. So for us, because we started that company in 2005, we were at the very beginning of internet travel. So we didn't have any software, we didn't have any technology. It was built around a simple idea of getting our friends together, taking trips together with our friends as a group, and that group travel allowed us to get prices lower. The problem was is that not everybody wanted to go on the same trips. Not everybody spoke the same languages. And then the biggest problem from a business standpoint was that not everybody is traveling all the time. So since it was just travel, when people were not necessarily ready to travel, they weren't always engaged in the business and didn't stay as part of the business as a customer. So what I did was I took a few years out of the industry, got a chance to process some of what I learned and realized during my time there. and realized that if we could come up with something that had the same type of cultural feel and an approach, but that would be something that people could use globally and also be a true global presence, but be centered around technology, then we could do something really special. And ladies, I'll let you guys run the waiting room there if you can as the co-host. Okay, perfect. Just in case I'm talking and I don't see. So what I did was I went out and put together a dream team of people that I've worked with over the years. And it starts with our technology team. So we've developed our own proprietary technology. Nobody else has the technology we have, not just in the direct sales space, but also in travel in general. So we own it, we created it, it's proprietary to us. And then we have some incredible people on our corporate team that have made what you're going to see today possible. And so the first pillar of Bryte Lyfe is travel, obviously. And like the lady said, it is something that does appeal to the masses. We're in this what they're calling revenge travel coming out of COVID. And so it's created an opportunity, obviously, where a lot of people are traveling, a lot of people want to travel. Travel is back in more demand than before it was before COVID. And so travel is the first pillar. And the other thing that's important to understand about Bryte Lyfe is that everything you're going to see today is invitation only. So from travel to experiences to our sports and music partnerships, everything is proprietary. So the only way somebody can become part of Bryte Lyfe is to be invited by one of our existing members. And so it's a closed member environment. And on top of the closed member environment that you're about to see examples of, we also have created what we feel like is the best loyalty program in the history of the travel industry. And so when we launched the company a year ago, so we just had our 1 year anniversary. When we launched with over 1 million hotels that we had contracts with. So 1 million properties, and we developed a piece of AI that will literally do a simultaneous search for whatever you put in. So you put your city in, you put your dates in, and it will go out and search for the best retail price. We don't only have wholesale contracts, but we also have retail price databases. Now, there are different types of travel technology out there without boring you in all the details. The way we've layered AI and the way we've showed the best online price retail savings comparisons is proprietary. We're the only ones that have it. We developed the technology and we launched it with 1 million properties a year ago. But over the last year, we've added an additional 2 million properties. So our global database is one of the largest in the entire travel industry, if not the largest. It changes all the time, so it's hard to say. And I always tell everybody, you can't say the biggest, you can't say the best. Try not to speak in absolutes, but one of the best, one of the biggest, and you'll see why. But we've got over 3 million properties now. We're launching 175,000 resort weeks. We also have car rentals, cruises, private jets, yachts, and so much more in terms of our travel databases. Now, when you go use the app, it looks familiar to you the way a regular travel search engine works. But once you put your city and your dates in, that's when most of the similarities stop. We actually built a custom checkout interface, but most importantly, the first thing you're going to see is that it results to you with the greatest savings first. So as you search, if you use the technology the way it's intended, you will 100% always save money. You're always going to see savings first. Now, what I tell people is the way the technology is designed to work is that it will show you what the greatest savings are. So it doesn't matter what the star rating is, how expensive it is, what the name of it is, none of that matters. Now you can resort it how you want, but you're going to see the greatest savings first. And on about 9 out of 10 searches, you're going to see savings up to 65% off. The way we're able to create these wholesale savings is because we don't make a dime on anything that is booked on our site or on our app. So what that means is that our technology strips out the markup. So any middle person, any margin, commissions, fees, kickbacks, all the things that happen inside of the travel industry, our technology takes it out and then shows it to you at a wholesale price. And then if we can return a retail price comparison in under 5 seconds, then we're going to show you with a sticker savings on each result, a percentage off of the best online current retail price that we can find. You're going to see sometimes where it may be 40%, it may be 50%, it may be 70%, and in some small chances, it might be 90%, like what you see here. And we've been doing this now for over a year. So we've gotten really good at it. But you will still see, and this is just a little tip because I know a lot of you will become members, you will see a lot of results that don't have a savings sticker on them. And the reason is because our database is so big now that we can't always find in under 5 seconds with AI what the best retail price is. So to give you a retail price comparison sometimes doesn't happen on every result, but it doesn't mean that you're still not paying a wholesale price. And so it's all wholesale. Some of the savings, like I said, greater than others. But usually in kind of a bare minimum worst case scenario, it might be 2% or 3% or 5%. But generally, it's going to be around 10 to 12 or 15% at a kind of a minimum standard, all the way up to those higher percentages that I discussed. Now, in addition to all of these 3 million properties, and 175,000 resort weeks that have no markup in them. These are empty timeshares that have been unused by their owner. And so we're giving them to our members at wholesale prices because all of these prices are in a closed member environment. Because contractually, we would not be allowed to show you these prices or let you book them without making a minimum markup if it was an open environment. So if it was a non-closed environment, meaning you weren't a member of a private club, a private organization, you wouldn't be allowed to pay these wholesale prices because there's price parity agreements in the travel industry. It's one of the reasons why most people's prices are within a few dollars of each other. This is an industry standard. It's been this way for 30 years. So we have these additional trips that are trips that we put together. These are custom trips, and we've done several of these in North America. And as we grow, we'll do them in Australia and New Zealand as well. And Carrie and Haley are not the first people to join from Australia and New Zealand. We have other members in Australia and New Zealand. But as we grow there, these regional trips will take place on the continents where we have members that want them. So in addition to, all of the volume in the app, you'll be able to participate to these trips globally, even if they're not in Australia. So we just launched one in the Bahamas. It was so popular. We were there in January at the Atlantis Resort, which is one of my favorite resorts in the world. My daughter was practically raised there. She loves it there. We went in January, the first week of January, which is one of the most expensive weeks of the year to go. And it was so popular, we're going back in October. And then we went to Miami in November. We also included tickets to the largest country music festival in Miami. Those tickets were 75% off. The hotel was 80% off. The Bahamas was about 80% off. And then we celebrated our 1 year anniversary in Vegas last month. We had members staying in some of the best hotels on the Strip for under $20 per night. We had multiple parties and events. We had golf. We had a pool party with Snoop Dogg. So we've got different spectrums. We did the country music festival and then we did a pool party with Snoop Dogg. So a little bit of something for everybody. This was the hotel that I stayed in because we did it at Resorts World. And so Resorts World has several hotels inside of one property. But Crockford's is the highest rated hotel in Resorts World and one of the highest in Vegas. And just to give you an idea, on Booking.com, which globally is probably the most popular travel website, English speaking travel website, it's over $2,600 for the weekend that we were in Vegas on Booking.com. The hotel was doing a New Year promotion when I booked this. So when I booked it, they were doing a sale, and you know how the hotels are. They'll be like, they'll say, "Oh, always the lowest price." Come direct to the hotel. Even Carrie and Haley and I, when we first started working together, they found something that was direct with the hotel, where the hotel was the lowest price she could find. And we were still better than the lowest price that was on the hotel direct was 1,600, and I was able to book it through my app for $712. So almost 80% off for one of the highest rated hotels. This is a hotel that sells for almost $1,000 a night. So I was buying one night and getting three. That's the type of savings that our members see all the time. So the first component, obviously, travel. Second component is the experiential part. And we wanted to give people experiences. And I'm a sports guy. And so I love sports. And I know how important sports are to the Aussies and the Kiwis. And so this is an important part of what we're doing because people have these experiences that they want to be able to have, but most people don't get to. And I was good at that. That was really one of the things that people knew me for, was these incredible experiences. And so I've tried to bring that to Bryte Lyfe, and then also give people the opportunity to really cross off their experiential bucket list items. And so we take a survey when you become a member of Bryte Lyfe. We ask you, what is it that you're interested in? Are you interested in music? Are you interested in outdoor activities? Are you interested in sports? Are you interested in entertainment, amusement parks, theme parks? You tell us. So when we started a year ago, we started with our surveys and we told our members it's going to be for the members by the members. So we launched with 1,000,000 hotels and our loyalty program, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. But none of what I'm about to share with you was available a year ago. And I tell you that for a couple of reasons. Number one, because we're constantly evolving, because we know that not everybody wants the same thing. And we're trying to build this global community that will allow people to have all the experiences that they want, and be able to cross things off their bucket list. But also, we know that because it's a global company, we want to be able to do things that are globally popular. So things like the World Cup, soccer, which is the most viewed sporting event in the world globally. And so we're going to have tickets and discounted tickets to the World Cup when it comes here to the US in a year. We'll also have other professional sports leagues. We've already got them. We've got all the major professional sports leagues around the world through one ticket broker already, which is European based. And so they've got a lot of the Australian sports as well. And we also have golf benefits that are global as well. In North America, where I am, we've got 250 private country clubs and golf courses that our members can have access to as a member without having to join each specific club. These are clubs that would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to join, millions to join all of them. And so you can't even walk onto these courses without being a paying member of that course. But as a member of Bryte Lyfe, we have a proprietary relationship with an Arnold Palmer company that is allowing our members to be members for a day at each of these facilities up to 3 times per year. Okay. And bring 3 guests with you each time you go. So you can bring up to 3 guests. You can play each course up to 3 times per year. And then we've got 500 courses that are resort courses or very popular courses outside of North America that our members also get preferred tee times at, preferred green fees, meaning discounted green fees. So you could basically play 2 rounds of golf, every day of the year, and still not play every single course that we have in our network. Why do I say this? Well, like I said, this is all stuff we've added because our members asked for it. So in the beginning, when we launched, the top two things that people said they wanted more of from Bryte Lyfe was sports and music. So those two things have been things that people have asked for. So we've done it. And in addition to the golf benefits, which by the way are great for me because, I could afford a country club membership and I had one 20 years ago. But I don't play enough golf to really make sense of paying, $500 to $1,500 a month for just golf when I only play 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, 9 times a year on a busy year. And so it's perfect for me because now I can play all over the world and I don't have to have a country club membership and I can play the best courses. And we've got partnerships with some of the largest names in music and entertainment, from Disney, Universal, Live Nation, which owns and operates music festivals and concert venues all over the world. And so we have VIP partnerships with them. We have partnerships with the House of Blues and the Foundation Room, which are two other large, well-known music venues and a private membership club for music enthusiasts here in North America. And these are the types of benefits that we will seek out in additional markets such as Australia, New Zealand, Europe, as we grow into these other markets as well. And a lot of our partners, they already have venues in those places. They're already doing shows, concerts, festivals. This was a photo at the Country Bay Music Festival, the one I mentioned in Miami that we went to in November. We had about 150 of our members at this. That's one of our signs there, right in front of the stage. We had all of that side stage was reserved for VIPs, and our members got open bar, side stage access right next to the stage, reserved seating. So there was a VIP area with canopies and tents, and they gave all of our members backstage pass tours before the concert started. So incredible experience. Getting to go in and meet some of the artists, see them, be backstage, having these types of VIP experiences is important. And then it's not just music, it's not just sports. Like I said, Disney, Universal, nightlife, nightclubs. The largest nightclubs in the world, Live Nightclub in Miami Beach, Live Nightclub in Las Vegas, Live Beach in Las Vegas. We have partnerships with them where we have guaranteed reservations, no line, no cover. So you skip the line, go straight to the front. And then we have discounted tickets to all the major amusement parks and theme parks, not just here in the United States, but globally as well. And like I said, these are all things that as we grow in different markets and as we have feedback from our members, we'll continue to bolster our offering in these areas. Now, the third component of our program is what we call Well Life. And Well Life is not just physical wellness, it's also much more than that. It started with physical wellness. We have a director of physical wellness, Corey Sanders, who was a professional athlete. He's a very well-known online fitness instructor. He also has been featured on the cover of multiple magazines and been written up in magazines. And so he does physical wellness coaching. He does nutrition counseling. He does live trainings for our members. We have recorded trainings by him in our app and on our site. But then in addition to that, he's done live events in conjunction with our trips. And we've been adding personal development, educational content, motivational, inspirational We just had one of the best AI instructors that happens to be a personal friend of mine speak to our members last weekend on how to integrate AI in your life and in your home and in your business. And so we're bringing in, guest speakers to add value to our community and really help people have a more balanced lifestyle. We also have discounts on fitness facilities, fitness classes globally. So those are things that are available all over the world. And then we're producing our own live events that have all of this content as well. Like our next one coming up in Orlando, August 9th and 10th. We're going to have keynote speakers on investing, AI, real estate, along with all of our Bryte Lyfe content. And then we've got multiple events happening in conjunction with this weekend. We've got a golf outing with some celebrities, some NFL players and former NFL players that have recently joined Bryte Lyfe. So we're doing this VIP golf outing with them. And we're also doing a service project. We're volunteering at a facility called Clean the World. They are the largest recycler of hotel soap and shampoo and conditioner in the world. So they take partially used soap, shampoos, and conditioners from hotels and they repurpose it, recycle it, use it for mobile homeless showers that are strategically placed around the US. And they also send sanitation kits all over the world to areas where, sanitation is not, available readily for children, especially. And so we've partnered with this organization. We volunteered at their facility in Vegas last month. We're going to be at their facility in Orlando in August. And so it's a full weekend. And then we've got discounted tickets to the most expensive theme park ever built, Universal Studios Epic Universe, which just opened about 3.5 weeks ago. So we're going to have an incredible weekend there in Orlando for those of you that can make it. And then we'll be doing similar events like this in Australia, New Zealand, and other markets as well in the future. And then the last part of our membership is really the thing that has people scratching their heads. Not just our members, but our competitors too, because most companies inside of the travel industry have some kind of a loyalty program. So airlines have miles, I'm a 2 million miler almost now on American Airlines, which is partners with Qantas. So like I said, been to Australia many times, flown on Qantas, flown direct from Dallas to Sydney, the longest flight in the world, I think. I don't think there's a flight on the planet that's a commercial airline flight that is longer than that one. And so because American is code share, One World partners with Qantas, I've flown Qantas a lot. And so, you get miles or you get points, and same with hotels and car rentals. But the thing as a consumer is that points and miles are confusing. They're misleading sometimes. You have to spend a lot of money to get something. You're not getting anything for free if you just buy a couple of flights. So for the average person that only travels a couple times a year, miles and points they don't really mean much, and that's one of the reasons why the common traveler is not a loyal traveler, because they don't spend enough money on just travel to make miles and points really mean anything. So we wanted to do something different that was simple, that made sense, that wasn't miles or points, that you didn't have to figure out, that wasn't a gotcha. It wasn't wasn't something else, or you didn't have to save for 5 years or 10 years in order to be able to use them. So what we did was, in our survey, when you become a member of Bryte Lyfe, we asked our members, what are the top 10 places on your bucket list? And to our knowledge, we're the first company that's ever even asked. No other company has probably ever asked you what's on your bucket list. And the reason is because quite honestly, no offense, they don't care. They don't care what's on your bucket list. Like American Airlines, perfect example. I'm a very loyal customer. Like I said, I think I'm at about 1.85 million miles. we can actually look while I'm sitting here. Um, you know, they don't care where I'm going. They don't know why I'm going where I'm going. But they take my money gladly. They let me go where I want to go. They let me spend what I want to spend. Yeah, it's 1.685. So I've flown 1.685 million miles on Americans. So I've probably spent collectively over my 30 years of travel with American, I've probably spent $1 million or probably really close to it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars nonetheless. But they don't know what's on my bucket list. They've never asked. They don't know why I've gone to the places that I've gone, or why I was there, or why I wanted to go there, if it was business, personal. I mean, they ask now personal or business, but what does that really even matter? And so we've gotten to know our members. And so, literally, from the moment you join, we go to work on your behalf. We're constantly negotiating with brands in these areas. So, first thing is you can go straight to them and save and start crossing things off your bucket list. But then, in addition to that, every year that you're a member of Bryte Lyfe, we're going to give you, not sell you at 65% off or 75% off or 85% off or 95% off. We're going to give you a guaranteed 5-star hotel stay for 4 days and 3 nights for you and a guest to a guaranteed 5-star hotel. And before you ask, I'll show you in just a second some of the brands, but the screens on the left are the interface. So that's what the app looks like. So when you log in, you'll see the screen on the left, the countdown clock is there from the moment that you join. So it is a countdown to the second of the moment you join, and every year that you maintain your membership, we award you a trip to one of your 10 destinations, which will be featured on the homepage of the app, the screen at the bottom. So you'll be able to see it and scroll through it. And then we surprise you every year with a 4 day, 3 night hotel stay to a guaranteed 5-star hotel. We're using some of the most exclusive, some of the most luxurious, some of the most famous hotels in the world to award this. And now we've just completed our first year. So we've got dozens and dozens of people who have qualified now for their first trip. And so, just to give you an idea of some of the trips that we've awarded, Dubai is on most people's lists. And so Dubai is a very popular destination. So we have a couple of contracts there, but the one we're using right now is with the Palazzo Versace Hotel. Now, you guys in Australia have something in common with them because there's only one other Versace hotel in the world, and it's in Australia. And I've actually stayed in it. I've stayed in both. I've stayed in the one in Dubai, I've stayed in the one in Australia. And the one in Australia was the first one opened, and it when I stayed in it in Australia, and if you've been to it, everything in the hotel is Versace design. So the bathrobes, the towels, the linens, the plates, the furniture, everything has got Versace logos on it. It's an incredible property, and so they're staying at the Palazzo Versace Hotel, and dozens of others are as well. Kirk Dobbs, he and his wife. And then one of the other most popular destinations is the Maldives. And it's actually closer and easier for you guys to get to the Maldives than it is for us over here. But we're putting people up in overwater bungalows at the Le Méridien Maldives. So if you want to just Google Le Méridien Maldives, it's one of the highest rated properties in all of the Maldives, and all of our members will be in overwater bungalows guaranteed. So that's a big deal because those rooms average about $1,500 a night per night. And so this is 4 days and 3 nights. So this is potentially, yeah. So Haley's showing her the countdown has begun. So this is potentially a $5,000. You want to scroll through your list? Show them what's on your list. If y'all can see Haley's video, she's got the app pulled up there. Puerto Rico, Amalfi Coast, Medellin, Santorini. I've been to all those places. Croatia, Bora Bora, Virgin Islands, Montenegro. I haven't been to Montenegro yet. That's one of my European destinations that I've been to. I've been to all the other places on your list, Haley, and that's a good list. And so we've got people that are super excited about this. But when you look at, the retail value of just the bucket list trip, it's a bare minimum of $3,000 in retail value. Now, of course, we're not paying $3,000 for these trips because it's about scale, because of the volume that we're doing, the contracts that we're committing to. We're getting these trips for much less than you could ever get them for individually on your own. And that's why you get the power of our loyalty program and the scale of Bryte Lyfe. And so the value from a retail standpoint on the bucket list trip, $3,000 to $5,000. We're averaging right now 40 to 45% off the best online prices on our bookings going through the app. And here in the US, the average hotel room is between $200 and $300 a night. So 40 to 45% means that on a bare minimum hotel booking, you're saving $150 a night plus. So every time you book a 4-night stay anywhere in the world, doesn't matter where you are, you're saving an average of $600. So that's $600 that's still in your bank account that you couldn't save anywhere else. And so we're keeping money in your account, allowing you to travel more, do more, see more, stay at a nicer place, and so on and so forth. And then you look at the Bryte Lyfe trips like Bahamas, Miami, Vegas, Orlando, easily save $1,000 there. We did another wellness retreat to Tulum. Then the golf benefits, you can't even put a price tag on because, I mean, you couldn't even add up all of the costs to be a member at all of the clubs that you could play as a member of Bryte Lyfe that without us, you could never play. I mean, it cost you $1 million because, to play all of them, I mean, each one of them is, $20, $30, $40,000 or more to join. We have some that are $250,000 to join. So incredible value there. Then you have the local savings, events, theme parks, amusement parks, concerts, events. So some of the stuff, you don't even have to travel to. And obviously, we'll be expanding that offering in Australia and New Zealand. We already have partners there, but from the local standpoint, we'll be adding local attractions and local partners as well. So easily, a household is saving $5,000 to $10,000 a year on their membership. So when we show them the price, and everything is based in USD that we do, which is good from the second part that I'm going to show you because we pay out in USD, we charge in USD, and so the technology is available in 20 languages, but it doesn't change currency. So you can use it anywhere in the world. We've got inventory anywhere in the world, but we do everything from right now from a simple format of keeping everything on USD. So it's $199 the first month, and then it's $179 each month thereafter. Now, a couple of things that are really important about that. The first is that we give all of our members a 7-day, no questions asked trial. So that means that you can sign up today, pay the $199, you can start using it immediately. There's no waiting period. You could book a hotel tonight in Sydney. You can use it immediately. You can see the savings. You'll see the countdown clock. And if you're not completely satisfied, you can cancel within 7 days. We give you your $199 back. No harm, no foul. And so that means that you could also keep everything that you book or buy during your trial. So you can keep everything. So you could go book your summer vacations or any of your trips, or buy concert tickets or event tickets, through the app. And then you can keep all of that and then still get a refund within 7 days and still keep everything else that you've bought. So it's totally no risk. On top of that, once you're outside of the 7 days, there's never a fee to cancel. There's no long-term contracts. You can cancel anytime. It's easy to cancel. It's 2 clicks of your phone or your computer mouse to cancel. Because to be quite honest, we don't want you to be a member if you're not using it, if you're not getting value from it. Because we look at this as the best piggy bank we've ever seen, because most piggy banks, when you put one in, you get one out, at least that I'm familiar with. But this piggy bank is different because every time you put 179 in, families are getting back out two, three, four, or five, or even some cases more than the 179 per month based on how much they're using the app and the experience. And then the bucket list trip alone is dollar for dollar more than what the cost of the membership is. So if you never even logged into the app all year, if all you did was just join for the bucket list trip, you're still saving money. You still couldn't beat our prices. And so that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. It's kind of like the Matrix. Most people have never had access to wholesale like this. Unless you've been part of the industry and or worked for a brand where you had wholesale pricing or employee pricing from one property or one brand, you don't even know what this is like. I mean, these savings are abnormal to you. And so it's kind of like the Matrix is what I tell people. Until you're out, you don't realize that you were in the Matrix to begin with. And so this is why we offer the trial, but our prices have to be protected. So you can't book without being a member because we would be in violation of our travel contracts because of the price parity agreements that are out there. It has to be in a closed member environment. We cannot offer the wholesale rates that we're offering outside of our closed member environment. And then this last part is optional. You don't have to participate in the last part. So we feel like we have the best customer loyalty program in the entire travel industry, in the history of the industry. Nobody's ever given anybody a free bucket list trip instead of miles or points. But we also feel like we have the best customer appreciation program. And we wanted it to be easy and simple because when you find something that you like, you tell your friends that you care about, okay? Because when you like it or somebody treats you right or does good business with you, you tell people naturally, okay? And so we just thought it makes sense that if you're going to tell people about Bryte Lyfe, because why would you keep it to yourself? Then why shouldn't you share in some of the benefits? So we have the best customer appreciation program in the industry. And you can use all of our tools and resources, our signs. We created this sign at my last company, World Ventures. We invented this sign, this roller sign, back in 2006. Now a lot of companies use them and you see them around, but they're very catchy and viral, and it's all about the bucket list with Bryte Lyfe. So a lot of people use those on social media, but our technology does all the work for you. When you become a member, you have a share button inside of the app. You can share it on social media. You can share it on text. You can share it on email. And it tracks every referral that you make. And the interface on the right shows your bucket list countdown at the top. But then below it, it says if you're Free Life qualified. So what is Free Life? That's our customer appreciation program. Once you refer just 2 members to Bryte Lyfe, we waive your $179 monthly fee. So every month that your billing period rolls around, we skip you if you have 2 active members that you've referred. Not 2 a week, not 2 a month, just 2 ever. So that's what we call Free Life. And that's why we say it's the best customer appreciation program, because I wished everything was like this. If you referred 2 people to your realtor, your next house was free. If you referred 2 people to where you bought your car, your next car was free. I've tried telling them this. It hasn't worked so far. Nobody else has taken me up on this, but we're doing it. So our members love this, and they love the Free Life program. In fact, just in the last 90 days, we've had over 300 members qualify for free billing. So this is growing very fast, and it's a big part of what we're doing. And then somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, Wes, so what happens if I refer more than 2? Do I get more free memberships or more free trips? And I say, kind of. Because if you refer more than 2, you definitely want to become an influencer with Bryte Lyfe. It's essentially a rep with us. For $20 a month, we give you access to all of our contact management system, marketing, videos, trainings, support, logos, branding, blueprints. You don't have to come up with anything on your own. We've got a dialed in system, and we're going to pay you for every referral that you bring in if you're part of this influencer program, you're going to earn $100 in free travel that we're going to literally deposit into the app for you that you can use inside the app so you no longer have to pay out of pocket for travel. And then we're going to pay you residual income based on how many members are part of your network. And so the bigger we get as a company, the more we're paying out. We've had 13 consecutive months since we started of record revenue. So every single month that we've been in business, we've paid out more commission than the month before. So for 13 consecutive months, and our technology tracks all of this. And I'm not going to get into all of this today for the sake of time, but we have an entire video that Carrie and Haley will share with you that goes through this in detail in about 15 minutes. I promise you, it's the simplest, easiest to understand, and most lucrative compensation plan that you've ever seen. And the reason we can do this is because we're a technology company. So because we're a service-based company and a technology company, it allows us to pay out far more than any product-based companies or companies that are reselling somebody else's technology or reselling somebody else's service. And so it allows us to do this. And we've only been in business a year, but we already have dozens and dozens of our influencers earning $300 a month, $800 a month, $1,600 a month, $3,000 a month. A couple are very close. In fact, maybe even hitting it this week or next week, $7,500 a month. And then over the next 6 months, those numbers will continue to grow because as our member base grows, these numbers will also grow because nobody can join directly through the company. They have to go directly through one of our members or influencers. And so it's just a matter of time because the bigger the company gets, the more commission we're paying out. It's happened already 13 consecutive months. And eventually we'll get to where we've got dozens of people making $125,000 a month, 200,000, 500,000. My previous company, we did over 4 billion in revenue and signed up over 3 million people. And so in the first year, we've signed up several thousand and had several thousand people download our technology, but we're obviously just getting started. And so the numbers that we're doing now are even growing faster than my initial company did back in 2005. So the trajectory that we're on is looking really good right now because of our technology. And so when you look at the power of our promotion of two, this is really what is, I think, creating so much energy right now around the markets where we already have members signed up. And what should be really exciting for you in Australia and New Zealand, because nobody's ever heard of this. I mean, if you go into a crowded room right now and say, have you heard of this? Everybody's going to look at you like, what? How do you spell it? You know, what are you talking about? It was the same way for me back in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9 with World Ventures. I mean, there was a time when nobody had heard of World Ventures, but then towards the end, 13 years in, 3 million members, 35 countries, 4 billion in revenue, people are like, oh yeah, I've seen those signs. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've heard of that. And so this is the power of two, because that compensation plan at World Ventures was much more complicated, much more confusing. We didn't have this two and free program. We didn't have bucket list trips. We didn't even have a real loyalty program. We didn't have any of the things that we're talking about here. So when you look at the power of two in this example, if you're the red plane and you referred two to get your free membership, and then they do exactly what you did, once that happens just 4 times, you're already making $800 a month residually. But once it happens 15 times mathematically, you're making $500,000 a month. And we have the best retention that I've ever seen in my history in this industry. I've put our retention numbers out there publicly and up against anybody. We retained over 45% of our members for 12 full months in our first 12 months. And that's, remember, when we launched with only hotels and only our bucket list trip. Those numbers are trending in year 2 to be over 65% annual retention, which is unheard of in this industry. Unheard of. I mean, Herbalife, the biggest company in the world in this industry, their retention is 16%. So we were almost 300% better than the biggest company in the entire direct sales industry at retaining customers in just our first full year in business. So it's not a matter of if we're getting to these numbers, it's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of how long, because our members are sticking. And so what you should understand today is that timing and placement is everything. Obviously, Haley and Carrie have a tremendous track record. They've got a large following. And so by hearing about this, this is a very VIP call. So This was their cream of the crop, VIP, invite only. They haven't even gotten started yet. They didn't want to talk to anybody else until they talked to you first. So what you should also understand is that obviously you are not their only friends. You're not their only contacts. They're just getting started. So because of our compensation plan only having two sides, left and right, some of the people that Haley and Carrie sign up are going to go on the left, and some of the people are going to go on the right. And it doesn't matter what side you wind up on, because here's what matters. Once you lock your place in, your place is locked in. So everybody that signs up after you, through them on the same side, count for you, regardless of whether you know them or meet them or ever speak to them or not. Some are going to go on the left, some are going to go on the right. And just this week, obviously, those of you that get started immediately and lock your place in, you're going to already wake up and have people that are already placed on your organization that you don't even know, maybe, or you've never even met. And this is going to continue to happen. And it's not just them, it's anything they ever do. So missing out on three people today may not sound like a lot, but it's not just those three people, it's anything they ever do. And some of the people that they've already talked to me about, and some of you that I've already heard about from our conversations, tell me that missing out on one of you that's on this preview VIP Zoom right now could mean that you miss out on thousands from just one person, not three or four or five, because of the quality of the people that Haley and Carrie have established relationships with and because of their proven track record. So you miss out on not just those three, but you miss out on the thousands that they bring in. So if you wait, it could be the most expensive decision that you've ever made. You know, way more than a handbag or maybe some other. It's like, well, I wish I hadn't done that, or wish I hadn't spent that. This will you will remember this, because this may be the first time you heard about Bryte Lyfe, but I 1000% for sure guarantee you this will not be the last time you hear about Bryte Lyfe. And so I would encourage you to get your spot locked in, especially as an influencer, on top of being a member, because of the fact that you're teaming up with Haley and Carrie and because of their track record. It's a tremendous advantage in this compensation plan. It's the most lucrative I've seen. We have the best retention I've seen. We have the best customer loyalty that's ever been done. We have the best customer appreciation program out there. So when you put all of that together, it's an incredible opportunity. And then, like I said in the beginning, you know, if you haven't already heard, we love giving back. So we'll be looking to do service projects. We're going to be doing our volunteerism trips, which we coined in my previous company. My previous company, we built over 100 schools in Guatemala. I'm still great friends with the director of that organization in Guatemala. They still have a need there. And we'll partner up with other organizations like Clean the World in Australia and New Zealand as we grow and do events in those areas as well. And you can download the app immediately. Doesn't matter if you're on Apple or Android. You go to the App Store, Google Play, it's available immediately. But remember, you will not be able to book anything, but you can see the interface, but you won't be able to see the member discounts. You won't be able to see all the benefits because everything's password protected in that closed member environment. We are working on a promotional free trial that will allow you to share it with people through our contact management system and give them the ability to preview it without buying. So you're going to be able to do that very soon. You can also get all of our gear at Bryte Lyfe Gear. And so at this point, you know, the most important thing is to let Haley and Carrie know today whether you're in or out. And if you're out, it's totally fine. We appreciate you being here today and giving us your time. Hopefully I wasn't a delirious being up in the middle of the night and going through the information with you. And if you want Haley and Carrie, I can actually, if you want me to take a few questions, I can. If there are, I saw things popping up in the chat, but I'm sure y'all were in the chat while I was speaking. So if there are any questions, and then if not, I just appreciate both of you and excited about teaming up with you and with everybody that you've brought on today and that you're going to bring on in the future. So
Well, thank you so
Amazing.
much, Wes.
Amazing.
You did really well for 2:30 a.m. I'm not sure I could have done the same.
There's no
So
way I could have nailed it like you did.
no, no. So we just want to thank you so much for coming on. This is one of many calls that we're going to do. yeah, if Kerry or I didn't invite you to this call, please reach out to I know we have friends who have also invited friends because we've been launching them too tonight, which is so exciting. And I can already see my messenger going off.
Same. I'm like, sorry, I'm coming. Does
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
have questions for Wes? Unmute yourself and jump in. Oh, we're all gone
Or if you
Anyone?
want
quiet.
to type it in the chat, if you want to type it in the chat, or if you're not where you can turn your cameras on, or be glad to answer
I
any
just want to
questions.
say, Georgette has already jumped in, even though we're officially launching tonight. She was part of World Ventures and she sent me through some photos yesterday with her. She was in Vegas and she's got her sign. And, I think she was at an event in Dallas with a big stadium. So I've got that. I'd love to share. Yeah, look, she's like, oh my gosh, so
Yeah,
excited.
Georgia,
I
get
saw
on here.
Georgette. Georgette sent me a friend request. I spoke at that event. So my daughter was actually on stage with me at that event. It was here in Dallas. It was in Cowboy Stadium. That was the biggest event that we did. I was the keynote speaker on the first night of that event, and it happened to be the same night as my daughter's first daddy-daughter dance at school. And so I had to miss the daddy daughter dance. Yeah, so I actually have the picture of me speaking on that stage. So we had 25,000 people at that event, and that's awesome. Excited to see you here, Georgette. And so yeah, it was an incredible event. So they actually brought my daughter out on stage at that event. I didn't know they were going to do it. We had my daughter dress up because it was supposed to be daddy daughter night. So I'd already got her dress and everything. And so she came out on stage with me to wave, and they wound up playing a song when I first came out. So we got to do a dance on stage. And she was
Oh,
only, this was in 2000 and I think 2016 or 17. So she was only 6 or 7 at the time. So it was an incredible experience. And so we're going to be doing that same thing here. And we did a lot of big events in Australia and New Zealand as well. So
I
looking
love
forward to
We're
that.
meeting
excited to
everybody in
get you
person.
over here to the land down under
Yes.
and to
For
create
sure.
some really awesome events.
I
Yeah.
love that. I'm a girl mum. I've got 4 daughters, so I love that story. And while we're on here, for anyone who gets started, Wes has just gone all out, and we have a blueprint that walks you through everything. I've never seen something so organized, and something that has just been launched are the Bryte Lyfe Nights. So to really, I've been doing network marketing now over 12 years. And, I go back, 12 years ago that I was with some companies that did the culture and the events really well. And I honestly haven't seen anything decent for a while. And I know a lot of my friends have kind of put network marketing on the side. And so many people are just been looking for something. So Kerry and I are excited to say that we're going to start doing some Bryte Lyfe Nights here on the Gold Coast to start with. Maybe we'll do some, maybe southern and northern Gold Coast because I know some people in northern New South Wales. But, post COVID, people really just want to, I don't know, get
Hang
together
out.
and hang out and, create some friendships. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to be traveling the world together and going to these events. So, we're excited to launch that. So yeah, if anyone's on the Gold Coast, you can let me know. If not, we can help you create your own Bryte Lyfe Nights in your area as well. So I
For
was
sure.
excited about that, Wes. All right, well, if we've got no more questions, I'll wrap it up here because I know it's a funny time of night. Definitely for Wes, it's a funny time of night, and I know it's dinner time. People with kids, I know some people have had to drop off because they had to go and do things. So we'll wrap it up there. We will get the recording to send out to everyone, and we just appreciate all your time. And please just drop into our messages if you've got more questions. We'll happily jump on a call or and go from there.
Perfect.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
I appreciate
everybody.
you
Thanks,
all.
ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank
everyone.
you